Hi guys, and welcome to another Hither Green in O gauge update. What have I been doing this week? This week I have finally got the last of my decals arrived for 33050, being the slightly smaller numbers than I had previously. So they look much better on the front, and fitting of the tops panels there, which I hadn't done yet. So that is now ready for a nice coat of varnish. I have now started modifying the bogies, and that is cutting the bolster springs out, which were there, and so that they can be moved back to where they should be. It blocks the screws on the bogie mounting pivot things, but that won't matter. And the other thing I've done in preparation for today's project, or started, is I have slimmed down the fuel tank by basically cutting with a hacksaw and removing about 2 mil off each side, so the fuel tanks are actually now in line with the body rather than wider than the loco itself. So I've just got some filler in there at the minute to hide the cuts a bit, and all the white inside is the vapours from the super glue that I've used to glue it all together. And the reason I have done this, apart from for it to look right in relation to the width of the loco, is in preparation for this. This has arrived in the post today. So what is in the box? I'm sure some of you know, but I'm going to open the box and we'll have a look. We'll take it out and see what we have. Now that's a big speaker. That's not going to fit in the fuel tank. Instructions, very small, and the version for ESU class 33 sound chip. So you've got to take that out and fit this in, which shouldn't be too bad. Screw terminals, and we'll see how we go. Okay, so first issue, always check the size of things when you buy them. Now this super duper nice speaker that I got here, I have nowhere to fit it in this loco. It is obviously much larger than the fuel tank. The width is good, but there's no way that that's going to fit in there. So I can't mount it on top of here because the roof of the loco will be in the way, unless I can somehow squeeze it in there if I cut off the top of this. Time to make a decision, but for now I'll wire the chip up and see where we can go with it. Okay, what I have done is print this out because it's easier to see on this big page here. So I can't show you what's on there, it's pointless, but that is obviously that. And we have on the top left the track connections, the motor connections, below that on the centre, and down the bottom here the speaker connections, another auxiliary speaker if we want, and some more lights on auxiliaries out on that side. So what I'm going to do, because I'm not going to be able to show you that, I'm going to just prepare the wires. I'm going to be disconnecting the motors, which I've done here. There's the 2 motor wires from that motor and the motor wires from that motor, and I'm going to have to sort of get them so I can get them together. And the same with the track and the lighting wires. So the board removed, that gives a bit more manoeuvrability, a bit more room to get things pre-assembled. So I'll solder these together so they're ready to, because on the old board you've got motor at this end and motor at this end and lights at this end and light at this end, but on this board the motor and the track are just up here together, so I shall have to put them together and take it from there. Okay, what we have is, with the aid of a 9-volt battery, the yellow and red wire is the white LED at each end of the loco, and the red and black is the tail light at each end of the loco. The red wire being the positive and the other colour being the negative return wire. And what we are going to have is 4 positive feeds and all the others joined together. So front headlight, rear headlight, and the others on the auxiliary 1 and auxiliary 2 terminal. So that's easy enough. Finding the motor wires is easy enough because they're the ones that disappear up under the top of the flywheel, and the track wires, which are the opposite way around. Yep, a black on one end, red on the other, and a black on the other end and red on the other. This one, they are the track left and right, and these are the motor. Now I haven't worked out yet which way around the two motors have to connect, whether they're going to turn the same way or opposite directions, but that's easy enough to sort out in a minute. What I've got to remember is the end of the loco with the long mounting bolts here underneath, the long mountings. That is the fuel tank end of the chassis, because the fuel tank is deeper than the battery box is, and the battery box is a number 2 end, which is the non-radiator end of the loco. So the battery box end is reverse, fuel tank end is forward, so therefore the big lugs are forward, little lugs reverse, and forward and reverse lights need to match up with that. So I'm just going to connect up the track left and right in the direction of forwards. So this being forwards, this is left, that is right, left and right. Got those joined on, and then I'll look at doing the lights. Okay, so what I've done is connect the black and the red pickup wire to one to the left, the black and the red pickup wire to the right. I've connected the same side wires of the motors together, so it's the black of this one and the red one to the positive of the motor, and the red of this one and the black of that one to the negative side of the motor, because I don't know which way they're going to rotate. Now it's easy swap, but this is the front of the loco, this is the back of the loco. I'm now going to plug in my ECOS and we'll see which way it goes. Okay, so here we have the 2 wires from my ECOS system. So we'll see which way I am set to forward, and I'll increase the speed up. So hopefully this will go forward, which is this direction. Wheels to go in a clockwise direction, if we're going the right direction with the motor. And we are going anti-clockwise, we're going in reverse. That's an easy fix. I'll just stop that so I don't short out my wires. The motor positive and the motor negative, I'll just swap those over and it'll automatically should go the other way. Okay, so I've swapped the motors wires left and right, and hopefully now this time in forward, which is what it is on the controller, we should go in the forward direction, which we are. So now I know I've got the motors all going correctly in the right direction, I can now move on to looking at the lights. just turn the controller off. Now before everyone writes in, yes, I know I can reverse the direction of travel digitally rather than this way, but I'd like to get it the right way around to start with so that I know that the lights are going to work in the way I want them to work and everything else. No more than that. So we now have the motors connected and the pickups connected. Now we've got that set in there for now. I will put some tape on the back to insulate any terminals under there. I don't particularly want things to short out because I've had a chip short out before and they're not cheap. So we'll sort that one out shortly. Right, so next thing is, this is the forward, this is the headlight. And according to that is the auxiliary front light is the second one down, and I want the red as the positive and the yellow wire as the common. Doesn't reach from that end, that's typical, isn't it? Lots of wire that end. Can I swap the boards? Do the boards pop out? Doesn't appear so. That's unfortunate. Unless there's another way of getting in there. If I could have got them out. And swap them over. Aha, they do just pop out. There we go. So we'll put the long ones that end and the shorter ones at this end, just to make your life easier. Pop. There's a little bit of glue on the back. He will now slot in there. He can slot in there. There we go. So that makes them all reach. So, okay, this is now the yellow and red, so the front light and the common. So the red was the positive, so we'll put him in the front light. Front light positive. And the front light for the other direction gives him the rear light. Goes in there, and then the other two, the tail lights go in auxiliary 1 and auxiliary 2, so the red of this one goes into auxiliary 1. Red light from this end. Goes into auxiliary 2. Which should mean I can turn on and off tail lights at each end independently. although I would like to modify it so that I have the red light also shining up to the route indicator box, because the area that I'm modelling doesn't have the marker lights displaying red. It's all done on the blinds. And now what I need at this end is all four common wires together. Two common wires. Other two common wires. And twist them all together. So now we have all four common wires together. They go into, according to the drawing, the bottom one. Right down the bottom, so, and then over the top. Feed them in there. Right, so what I'm now going to do, just to make sure I don't short anything out, is get some black tape or something. I'll go out, come back in a minute, and I'll cover that in tape so that is protected from short circuit. Okay, so where we're at to now, we are at, yeah, lights are connected up. Bit of insulation tape, so that is just set in the box at the minute. I'll wind up speed, which I've done, and hopefully we should still move. And we're going in the forward direction, so to turn on the lights, hopefully I should therefore get on this end a white LED. Functions and see if I have any lights working at all, which I don't appear to have. No lights working. So I'm wondering if we are switching these in the reverse polarity, which means I need to swap the polarity of the LEDs, the positive and the negative. So the common appears to possibly be the positive side instead of the negative side. And looking at that, yes, my mistake. It's a common positive. So all the lighting wires are trying to operate the diodes in reverse. And as we know, diodes only work in one direction, so I have to disconnect the yellow and the black wires from the common and fit all four red wires and do it again. So I'll just come back to that one. Okay. Attempt number 5 at this one segment. I've disconnected the LED lights because the one at this end was glowing all the time. I couldn't turn it off, it didn't brighten up depending on direction or whatever. So just for a bit of peace of mind, I've disconnected them. And I'll look at them later separately from this video and do an update on that if necessary. Otherwise I shall look at some separately fitted LEDs to work how I want to, because they're not actually going to work how I want, because the red for the route indicator will be not lit red by the red LED, because that is down low for the marker lights at the bottom, so I'm going to have to change them anyway. But anyway, what we have is a Legomanbiffo sound. I've had to connect this big speaker which isn't going to fit in here, and unfortunately Charlie Petty at DC Kits removed the speaker that comes with the chip. It's advertised with the speaker, and then I bought this speaker as extra, so I'm missing a speaker, so hopefully Charlie will rectify that issue, and I will put that on an update later. So Legomanbiffo sound on an O gauge 33 through this big speaker here. Well, I hope it comes out nicely on the recording here, but that sounds really nice. It's a noisy exhauster. So I'm going to stick this in reverse, and we're in reverse. Well, I have to hold it because I can't do much else, and we'll see what it sounds like on the move. Got a lot of power. is Legomanbiffo. So what I have to do now is get a speaker that fits and get on with detailing the chassis. That'll be the next video update. So anyway, if you like the video, if you want to see how I go on with this Hither Green depot, subscribe and I'll catch you later. See ya.